and within minutes, the Dominion's fleet began to vanish. The Terran warships did not broadcast demands. They did not negotiate. They unleashed energy beams that lanced through battleships as if they were fog. Swarms of microdrones bored into armored hulls, dismantling war machines molecule by molecule. On the bridge of the Dominator, Tresk watched in horror as the largest of the Terran dreadnoughts came into view, its surface pulsing with a lattice of crimson symbols. "Withdraw," he shouted. "All ships, withdraw." But there was nowhere left to run. In the council chambers of Nemus Spiral, real-time feeds flickered across 1,000 holoscreens. Delegates of every species, Solari crystal sages, Uvas swarmbrokers, the reclusive Yolani seers, watched the slaughter unfold. For generations, they had believed the Deathworlders civilized themselves. That humanity had been tamed by diplomacy and trade. But the Terrans had merely been patient. Fleet Marshal Rourke's final transmission to the Dominion was broadcast on every frequency. "This is the price of your arrogance. This is the shape of our true power. Never again presume that our gentleness is all we possess." When the last Dominion ship disintegrated into a cloud of glittering debris, the transmission ended. The Terran dreadnoughts did not pursue further. They simply returned to their silent orbits. The system was closed once more. Weeks later, when the first timid reconnaissance probes dared to approach Sol's border, they found only wreckage, scattered hull fragments of the Dominion's fleet, drifting like a graveyard monument. Archivist Ellen of the Morellan Enclave later wrote, "No treaty, no policy, no council decree will ever erase the memory of that day. The Deathworlders had offered peace. We had called them tame. But when their patience ended, the galaxy discovered what they had always been." In the following centuries, every species taught the story to their children. They called it many names: the reckoning, the great correction, the end of arrogance. But across every language and culture, it was remembered the same way. The day the Deathworlders stopped pretending to be gentle, a legend no species ever forgot. Terran defense ship. The Dominator's sensor chief began hyperventilating. "Admiral, it's charging." He never finished. A wave of gravitational distortion slammed into the fleet, compressing armor into molten slag. Dreadnoughts shattered like brittle glass. Escape pods dissolved before they cleared the wreckage. Inside the Dominator, emergency fields flickered. Admiral Chirrus crawled to the forward viewport. Through the cracking transparency, he glimpsed the Retribution's prow, an obsidian wedge alive with shifting sigils, and, for one heartbeat, he felt something alien: regret. Then the flagship detonated. Across the Concordance, silent transmissions carried footage of the massacre to every sovereign seat. In the Grand Chamber, delegates of the 1,000 species watched in stunned horror as the Terran dreadnought dispatched the entire Varnathi armada without a single casualty. The Solari archivist Ellen murmured into the silence. "They tried to wake the old legends." And the legends woke up. Hours later, when the Retribution transmitted a final statement, it was a simple declaration, calm, unhurried, and absolute. "The Varnathi hegemony has been neutralized. Humanity remains committed to peace. Do not test our resolve again." The message ended without flourish. In the aftermath, the supreme overlord of the Varnathi was stripped of his title. Entire sectors revolted rather than face Terran reprisal. No retribution came. No further fleets appeared. Humanity simply returned to its silent vigilance, as if nothing had occurred at all. Millennia later, the event was recorded in every official curriculum. It was spoken of not as a battle, but as a correction. A reminder that beneath their civility, humans retained the will, and the means, to annihilate any who threatened them. The Rilthak war clans coined a proverb that endured even after their star empire fell. "Raise your hand against the Deathworlders, and you will lose the privilege of having hands." On the 1000th anniversary of the Concordance Charter, a single human ambassador attended the celebration. He wore no armor. Carried no weapons. Spoke in a voice so gentle it felt impossible to reconcile with the stories. When the ceremony ended, a young Solari archivist approached him, eyes wide. Is it true, she asked softly, that no one dares to challenge your people anymore? The ambassador regarded her with a look of infinite patience. We are not monsters, he said. We prefer peace. His expression never changed as he added. But if you force our hand, if you mistake our patience for frailty, you will learn, as others have learned, that some lines should never be crossed. In that moment, she understood why every civilization, no matter how vast or arrogant, recorded the same words in their law. Humans are untouchable, no one dares to raise a hand against them,